This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
So this is a big week for you people.
For us people?
Yeah, you Christian people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got,
true. Yep.
So
It's Holy Week, Dave.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like Lollapalooza. I mean, there's like every day there's something, right? There's what you've got.
Today is
last Sunday was Palm Sunday.
Palm Sunday,
okay.
Yes. Then today is Holy Thursday.
Okay. Is that a marketing gimmick?
Please don't ask me any questions.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. Tomorrow's the Big E. That's Good Friday.
Good Friday.
That's the day that you people,
Yeah.
Then Saturday.
Whoa. You people, what are we talking about? Are you guys still holding? How many years has it been? Would you guys get over it? It's a little bit of a grudge here.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then Holy Saturday is Saturday.
Wait, you have Holy Thursday and Holy Saturday?
And Good Friday.
But, so the Thursday and Saturday are the same name? Shouldn't it be?
Yeah, we're working on the branding.
You guys suck at this.
I know. Yeah. And then Sunday is Easter,
right?
Of course.
That's
the big one.
So
that's the biggest.
I teach at a Christian university, one of my universities I teach at, and I was talking in class yesterday, right? And I'm saying, okay, on Friday we've got, we're gonna go over. I'm not gonna tell you what the lecture is now.
Yeah,
you care about.
Please. Hang on.
I got the syllabus here.
Let
me. And there's these blank stares. I'm like, what's up? They go, it's Good Friday. And I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
And then
what does that mean?
Right. I'm like, and then they started with you. That's when you people.
By the way, that was a joke. I don't really believe that. It was a joke.
No, but the point being is, I had no clue that there was this thing on Friday, and now I got to read. Now the Jew has to completely rearrange his syllabus for next week.
Well, I think it's funny that as a group of friends are getting together on Good Friday,
right?
And because that's what people do.
Yeah, whatever.
We are who we are. You know who we really are?
We're Minutia Men. We call that a segue in the biz.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie production on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
Well, our supper club is having a Last Supper theme.
Yeah, we are.
So there's a lot of blasphemy.
So we are going right to hell.
We're going to have loaves and fish, right?
Right, exactly.
Hey, let's get going. We got
water, wine, the usuals.
We got a big weekend coming up. Let's get people so they can do their planning. You know how I have a certain affinity towards sports betting.
Yes.
Right? And that should not concern you about our business finances.
Yeah, no.
There's no problem whatsoever. I've got everything under control.
As a business partner, there's nothing you like hearing more than your partner talk about his gambling problems.
But the sun is shining a little brighter today.
Oh.
Okay. A startup recently announced the launch of the world's first live sperm race. And you'll be able to watch its inaugural edition in Los Angeles coming up, I think, on the 25th. And you'll be able to bet on it.
This is for real?
This is totally for real. According to a commercial real estate media outlet Traded, the startup, known simply as Sperm Racing, again, they may need a little help with marketing, recently raised $1 million in support of their efforts to put on the world's first sperm race. Okay. The four men behind the idea are Richard Hurst, Peter Gozinia, Hugh Johnson. No, I'm just kidding. Eric Zhu, Nick Small. Actually, that is his name.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, Nick, you might want to. Shane Fan and Garrett Nikonioko. These are all cyber bros, I think.
Okay.
They came together and they started this thing called Sperm Racing. On the website, which is, I think, spermracing.com, the manifesto cites that there's a worldwide decline in male fertility. Okay. And this is the catalyst for the idea. Male fertility is declining like a lot. It's happening quietly, steadily, and nobody's really talking about it. So to raise awareness of this alarming trend, they've decided to turn this into sport. Right.
Okay. I'm trying to visualize this.
Well, now, if you might be wondering how exactly a sperm race works, well, the founders laid it out. First, a microscopic racetrack has been built for the two sperm samples. It's going to be like mano a mano. It's going to be like two different. It's going to be like match play. Okay.
Yeah, like if you ever go to a baseball game, you see the baby races.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So what they do is they're going to they're creating a microscopic racetrack. In fact, it must be done already because it's starting in a week or whatever.
Yeah.
And the course mimics the reproductive system. It includes chemical signals, fluid dynamics, synchronized starts, perhaps some begging. I don't know. And every move that
and a big jar of hand lotion.
Yeah, right. Right. The co-promoters are Kleenex. So every move that the sperm makes is tracked by high-resolution cameras and will be live streamed. Okay. There will be stats, there will be leaderboards, and even instant replays.
Wait a minute. So, all right.
Yeah, I know.
I can't dig too deep on this because I don't think you know exactly how it works. No. But how do they, on your marks, get set? How does that work?
I'm pretty sure the sperm has already been extracted.
Okay,
and they're I don't know how you possibly could do that.
It could be like 17 minutes or
right.
3 minutes or 45 seconds.
I believe that the sperm samples and as you know, I have a lot of history doing sperm samples for infertility. So I would imagine, like I said, the sperm has been extracted in a jar or whatever, and they put it in
through traditional methods. Do we know how that?
I don't know, but I think it's no.
Okay.
So what the founders of Sperm Racer do is creating a market where fans can pick their favorite competitor and wager on the winners. I sent you a video of the promo of this.
Should I play it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, here. It's 50 seconds long.
Everything big always starts small.
Yo, listen, you hear that? Killers in the jungle.
This is the world's first ever sperm race. This is Asher from UCLA versus Tristan from USC. Two legends, one microscopic racetrack. The battle for whose sperm is the healthiest, the fastest, and the tastiest. Whose swimmers will win the race. USC versus UCLA. Friday, April 25th, live on spermracing.com.
There you go. So you can actually...
Holy crap.
Now, clearly they have a branding issue, right?
Yeah.
So I came up with some sperm names for you, like a la like horse race, a horse racing.
Oh, yeah,
right?
good idea.
I got Swim Shady.
Okay.
Spurt Reynolds.
Okay.
And Sir Jizzalot.
Here they come around the turn.
Right here they come. Right.
Jizzalot.
Now, you and I are probably not able to compete. You, of course, with your vasectomy.
Well, yeah, that's right.
I mean, how?
Right. My boys don't swim anymore.
Right. They're and remarkably, they did it. Do you think your sperm actually have little gout? Their tails have a little gout or elephantitis or whatever. But it doesn't matter.
3 sons, my man. 3 sons.
And of course, my 813 balanced translocated chromosome sperm is not going to.
Right.
That's
don't bet on that one.
Don't bet on Sleepy Stern, because that's I'm actually pretty impressed that I was able to have children, because my directions, I'm so directionally challenged.
Oh my gosh.
How my sperm was able to find.
They had GPSs, I think, at that point. Well, congratulations.
So Sperm Racing, April 25th. It was spermracing.com, right?
And my best to all the sperm racers. We're behind you all the way.
Oh, absolutely. And I like it how they are making it as a USC, UCLA. God, those people really must hate each other.
Well, I have a story that is kind of related. Not really, but my story is about pregnancy cravings. Which it takes sperm in order for that to get to that point. Pregnancy cravings are very common, but one pregnant woman has got the internet talking with an intense and unusually sour pregnancy craving. That's Gratelli de Swart. She posted a reel on Instagram biting into a whole lemon like somebody would an apple. A 23-year-old wrote on the text, when the pregnancy craving hits. And the reel, which has been viewed now over 2 million times, prompted other moms to start sharing their weird and wonderful food cravings.
So is she peeling the lemon? I mean,
no, she just bit into it like an apple.
So like the rind, I mean, the whole thing. Ugh.
Right. And that's freaking people out, but it's not that weird. Pregnant women eat some pretty strange things, and they started sharing other cravings. Like, here's some, just, sit down for these. Chocolate-covered bacon.
That doesn't sound bad at all.
I don't think so. Pasta with ketchup.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Red meat and cream soda.
Oh God! All right, that's bad.
Potato chips dipped in Nutella.
Oh, I can do that.
I could do that.
Yeah, the sweet and salty.
Yeah. Soy sauce and bananas.
No.
Yeah,
Nutella and bananas.
Okay, I think Nutella is. We're fine with any of the chocolate varieties. Right. Noodles and ice cream. I don't think so.
No.
But what is the king of all pregnancy cravings?
Is it herring or pickles?
Pickles.
Right,
pickles. So here are the pregnancy cravings that gross me out the most, and
because you love a good pickle.
Peanut butter and pickles.
Yeah.
Pickles and ice cream, and there is such a thing as pickles ice cream.
Yeah.
I've seen it in the store.
What was the name of Buddy Sorrell's wife?
Pickles. Very good. There's also yogurt with pickles. But I got to say, I was reading through the pickle things on this woman's...
Were you incensed? Or you get like
a little bit.
Right. Did they mention herring? Because if they would have mentioned herring,
I was happy with the pickle thing because, I'm a pickle man. This is what got me upset. Madison responded on here. It's remarkable how pickles have the power to ruin everything they come in contact with. You can't just take it off a sandwich. The taste of despair from the pickle will always be there.
Who is this person?
Somebody who I'm sending out someone to talk to because that's just wrong. And by the way, you joked about pickled herring, but my mother, when she was pregnant with me, actually, truly, honestly, craved pickled herring.
I'm trying to think what Michelle's craving was. Irrationality. what was
It's a joke. It's a joke.
The thing that Michelle in the later throes of pregnancy would get emotional at absolutely everything. Like she would watch a coffee commercial.
Yeah, Bridget too.
Right. She gave him a cup of coffee and now they're going to get married.
With Bridget, it was chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, yeah.
And only home baked.
Oh, so you had, and she couldn't do it because she...
No.
Okay.
Only she could do it. No one else...
Was she barefoot when she was...
But I mean, no one else made them correctly.
Right, of course.
You know what I mean? It had to be exactly the kind of cookie she wanted. It had to be cooked exactly the way she wanted it. And only she could do it. But she had those cravings, I think, with all three of the boys.
Actually, I think my mom's craving were cigarettes.
And wine.
For both.
And that's how we got to this point.
Right. That's why I was 2.6 pounds or whatever when I was born. Hey, I got a review here, and this is from SMB on Potable. This is actually I really love this one. Rick and Dave are like the audio version of that one drawer in your kitchen that has batteries, rubber bands, and a photo of someone you don't remember. Confusing, comforting, and full of surprises.
Oh,
that was very nice.
That's too nice.
Yeah. So please, everybody, go on wherever you're listening to this podcast and throw us a review.
Throw us a bone.
Yeah, come on.
We're giving this to you for free.
Yeah, we're getting nothing.
We're even going all the way back into our archives because it's time for Studio Walls.
Time now for Studio Walls.
And the words of the prophets were written on the studio walls. Rick and Dave.
So this week, a famous singer, Gerardo, celebrated a birthday. You all remember Gerardo. He was the hunk who did the song Rico Suave.
I think you have to be a certain age to remember.
Yeah, I think that's probably
45 plus, maybe.
It was in the 90s, wasn't it? Late 80s,
maybe.
But he was huge. I mean, it was a top 10 hit, Rico Suave. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing it. In fact, he went from relative obscurity to shirtless superstar overnight, pretty much.
And then back to obscurity.
And,
but his notion.
We didn't get into that part, if I remember correctly, but we did get into that whole what fame was like and all that stuff. In fact, we asked him that direct question, and here's what he said.
I can tell you, really, it was unexpected. I at that moment in those days when I started doing music, because it wasn't like I was out there for 5 years struggling, trying to be heard. It was just an idea, man. I saw at that moment, MC Hammer came out with I Think You Can't Touch This, and black people went crazy. I was like, all right, cool, and then Vanilla Ice comes out, and white people lose their mind, and I was like, man, there's a spot for me. I'm gonna take the brown people. So with that idea, I just had an opening. It was just that, because I remember I was acting and I was doing this, and I was like, you know what? And I had done every acting role that was offered to a Latino back in those days. I did every gang role, every bad guy role, every drug dealer role. So when I saw the opportunity, I said, I'm going to put a different type of role for us Latin men out there, and that's where the Rico Suave came out.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well done.
In the early 90s, a lot of people called me Rico Suave because...
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Because my name is Rick, and, I'm a great dancer.
Okay, he's not a great dancer, but go
Chicks
on.
all loved me.
Okay, they didn't.
There you go.
But now they call me Rico Grasa. You know what that means? Tell Dave what it means, because he doesn't know.
Greasy Rico.
Greasy Rico.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. How do you say gout? How do you say gout in Spanish? Because it could be Rico Gout too. Do you have a new nickname now? 27 years later.
Yeah, actually, I'm Pastor G now.
Oh.
Everything at
Pastor G, is that what you said? Oh, that's cool.
Pastor G, yeah, Pastor G. It's like I'll be at Kroger's yesterday, and I hear some kid, hey, Pastor G, and I'm like, of all the titles that I had, from whatever, actor, dancer, or executive in the business, whatever it was, man, that's the one that I can relate to the most, and I can be proud of.
Oh.
So,
that's a great guy.
Because he's a pastor.
Right, he's a pastor.
That's what he does
right.
now, which we found fascinating.
Yeah.
And that's all part of the interview. If you want to go to Minutia Men Celebrity Interview, this was our second ever interview.
And
episode 2.
And I still made fun of your gout back then.
Well,
the gout thing just doesn't never end.
You know what's funny? We've been doing these interviews now for going on 9 years. Yeah. A lot of these, when we go back and listen to them, we don't remember exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And I love watching you laugh at yourself. Like, God, I'm funny. Oh, and sometimes as you're listening to them, don't you think of like something you could have said?
Right. Yeah.
And then you say it, and you're like, oh, that was perfect. That's exactly what I would have said, because I was there.
And I haven't changed in 9 years.
You
basically.
have not.
Doesn't he have a daughter that was like Miss
California?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's all part of the interview, too.
So, hey, speaking of television, and Sweden, which we weren't really talking about television or Sweden.
Kind of bad.
You've been to Sweden, haven't you?
I've never been to Sweden.
I came close to going to Sweden last year. Well, guess what is the hottest television show in Sweden right now?
I have no idea.
It's The Great Moose Migration.
Oh.
Okay, which is a nonstop live coverage of moose migrating.
They have moose in Sweden?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I assume it's
Or are they
Swedish.
watching it like Canadian?
I don't know. You know what? That's a great question. I'm going to assume that they're watching, because that would be silly to watch another country's moose.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What is the plural of moose? Moose.
Yeah.
Moose. So it's this television, or this show. It's going on 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's nonstop live coverage of moose as they follow the path that they've followed for thousands of years to their rich summer grazing pastures. It's going to air for 20 days. Okay. The highlights of the show, I mean, and they posted remote cameras all over and drones. I mean, I think they may even have announcers,
Really?
Saying, "Ooh, look at this tribe.
Here they come spinning around."
Here comes Sir Jizzle-Lot.
Yeah.
What is a pack of moose called?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So, but we
really dig deep on the research before we come in here.
And I guess the highlight is when they cross the Angerman River. That's when everybody turns on. It's like, oh, this particular pack is going to go there. I make sure I have coffee. I have snacks. Sleep. Forget about it. I don't sleep. Ula Malgren, 62, said in an interview that aired on the Today Show. A Facebook group called, and I'm not going to... Do you do a Swedish?
I do not. The Swedish cook? Or
yeah,
do the Swedish... No.
Well, there's words in Swedish that I don't know what it stands for or what it translates to is we who like the Great Moose Migration on SVT has over 800,000 members. Okay.
Wow.
And these are people just sharing photos of their TV screens when their moose appear. 2 schools canceled.
Really?
Right. It's because this is like
there's literally nothing going on in Sweden.
Evidently. And this is huge. I did get audio from one of the moose participants.
Okay.
Should
I play it?
Yeah, I want you to play it.
All right, here it is.
Our subject for today is how to be a beatnik. Some people think the beatnik is merely a bum with sunglasses, but he is more than that. Though not much. The first step in becoming a beatnik is to grow a beard. This can be a long process, particularly if you're a girl. Clothing-wise, we should remember this important rule. The well-dressed beatnik is seldom neatnik. Beatniks hang out in unemployment lines, health food stores, but most of all in coffee houses.
Okay.
Wow. I think they're talking about Democrats there.
Yeah,
are they?
I think so.
Was it Vinny who lost his mind because he interviewed
June Foray,
who did the voice of
Rocky?
Yeah. Right. Wasn't that like him meeting Elvis?
Yes, because Vince is the guy who does our voices for the different segments that we have on the show. And he is a voice guy. And so he does all these character voices. And it was what he always wanted to be. He was a character voice guy. And so we had June Foray on. June Foray.
She's passed away, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's passed away. When we were on the Landecker show together. And she agreed to like do a character conversation with Vince where she was Rocky, and she's also the granny, I think, in Sylvester Tweety Bird, and she does like a million voices that and Vinny had his voices that he did, and they interacted on the air. He said it was like the best day of his life.
Yeah. Well, and we had Debbie Derryberry,
yeah,
who did Jimmy Neutron,
yeah,
and the Minions from Toy Story.
Yes,
right.
That's right.
So that's another celebrity interview that you can.
That's true.
Right there.
So I have a story for you. Mm-hmm. Now this is a big news story this week, and again, we don't get into politics.
No, we don't. Never.
But
when somebody tells you like, I don't like, or I really love her to death, but this is the same thing.
It doesn't matter if you're right or left. You've got to believe X, Y, or Z. Right. But let's be honest. The news came out this week that our president, Donald Trump, had a health physical, had a physical, and it
went beautiful. It was a beautiful.
And the results are a little questionable.
Oh, really? Okay.
A little questionable. I mean, they sound
not according to him. He says everything is great.
Some people compare it to the pronunciations of the Korean doctors who examined Kim Jong-un and give the reports of his great health. But I'm here to tell you,
after he had 11 holes in one,
I'm here to tell you that it's not as bad as that. So let's compare them, shall we? Because this is because we're helping the president out here. Yeah.
And you're a doctor.
Yeah, and I'm a doctor. Now it did sound a little fishy.
Okay.
When Trump's doctor says that he has great genes and that if he had a healthier diet, he might live to be 200 years old. Really said that. Really said that. But not as bad as the Korean doctor, the North Koreans, who said that Kim never needed to use a toilet because his body is so well calibrated that he doesn't need to urinate or defecate. That's worse, right?
That is worse.
Much worse.
That is worse.
Now, Trump's doctor said that...
They really said that?
Yes. Trump's doctor really said that you can tell he's in great shape because of his frequent victories in golf events.
Yeah.
Really said that.
Yeah.
But he didn't say that what Kim's doctor said, which is he shot a round of golf at 38 under par, the first time he ever played the sport. And this amazing round, which was played on North Korea's only golf course, included 11 holes in one.
I remember.
All right. So, again,
not quite.
Not as bad.
But.
Now, Trump's doctor said that he weighs 224 pounds. Which is 20 pounds lighter than he weighed 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to say bullshit. Bullshit. Maybe one of his legs, if you ever see him on the golf course.
I know.
But, again, not as bad as Kim's doctor. Kim's birth atop a sacred mountain saw a new star created and winter turn into spring. So
we're huge in North Korea, are we?
I think we are. But it just goes to show you that, they said it was ridiculous, but it could be more ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when they did the 11 holes in one.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I know.
Well, do you remember during was it the Persian Gulf War, right?
Yeah.
When was it the Iraqi defense minister or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Baghdad Bob. Baghdad Bob. He's come on. Oh, we're winning huge right now.
Right. The infidels are running to the water and whatever. And you're like, yeah, it's not really.
Stock market's doing great.
Yeah.
See, that's bad, but not as bad.
Yeah.
Not as bad. All right. It's time for another feature.
Time now for Celebrity Potpourri with Rick and Dave.
So this is the part of the show where we
got to get Baghdad Bob on that.
I think he might have been during that war. I'm not sure. This comes to us from Gil.
Oh.
Guys, I'm a new listener to this podcast. Oh. I live in the UK.
Oh.
And found you through your football podcast.
Oh.
The soccer podcast I do. I think I have a story that would fit both shows. About 10 years ago, I was lucky enough to get tickets to see a game at Old Trafford. That's where Manchester United plays.
Okay. Is that kind of like a holy place?
Yeah, it's kind of like Wrigley Field.
Okay. Or like what is the word?
Fenway or something.
Montreal Forum, isn't that for the...
Something like that, yeah. I was enjoying a pint and a pie at halftime, and there was a big... I should be reading this in a British accent, but I don't really do a British accent. There was a big hubbub as security escorted someone by us. It was a short black man, and I had no idea who he was, but one of my mates recognized him. The boxer Floyd Mayweather.
Oh.
Apparently, he's also a big Manchester United fan.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
That's great. That was
Get
a twofer.
See a boxer and Manchester United.
And knowing the British, or knowing soccer fans, racial insults were hurled at him as he was walking through the corridors.
You
right?
know, Manchester United, it's where David Beckham played, or Wayne Rooney played. They're terrible right now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
How's Liverpool doing?
Liverpool's about to clinch.
And what are they clinching? Because you have like 87 different leagues.
They will win the league this year.
Is there like a championship or anything, or no? Or is it just...
it's just, winning the league.
Okay, so there's no playoffs.
There's no playoffs, no. But, yeah. So, Dave, we have another show.
Yes.
And there's a really cool interview that's on there right now. Tell everybody.
For those of a certain age, Little House on the Prairie was perhaps... Quite frankly, I didn't really like it. I couldn't really relate to it. As
between you and me, me neither.
The Jew living in the apartment in Chicago didn't really relate.
But
to
I had a teacher, my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Wilkins. She would read us Little House on the Prairie books in school, all the time. And so I did, have an affinity for the books. But then I saw the show, and it didn't match the way I had it in my head, and.
Did she also read from the Starsky and Hutch books?
She did not. Those came 2 years later.
So Nellie Olson, the evil kid.
Yeah,
we had the pleasure.
She is a delight.
Yeah, she was
right. I mean, she's funny. She's upbeat. Mm-hmm. She does a one-woman show called Confessions of a Prairie Bitch.
Yeah, right.
Which kind of tells you that she's cool. I strongly recommend checking it out. It is at Minutia Men Celebrity Interview.
Right. And it's up there. It just came out yesterday.
Yeah. So we have people to thank.
Yeah. Hey, Tony Lasano, thanks, bro.
Yep.
Ed Silla, thanks, man. Brandon Herman, rock on, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are your things. Okay. Well, I believe we should also mention that Ed Sill is with the Radio Misfits Podcast Network, and Tony is.
If you don't like the way I do it, why did you give me kind of the nod for me to do it? If you didn't like the way that
I didn't expect you to half-ass it that much. That was more like quarter-assing it. It's like 1/8 assing it. So that's the reason. So I think I'm going to take it back. All right, I'm going to take it back.
Yeah, all right, fine.
And I'm even taking this part back. So tune in.
Why don't you just get your little AI friend and do your little show? Okay, do it in a Bullwinkle voice or whatever. I'm sure you could do it.
Hey, rookie.
Whoa! I do Henry Kissinger doing Kermit during Bullwinkle.
We'll be back next week with another episode of
Minutia Man.
The proceeding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at radiomisfits.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?
Kermit the Frog.
What's Mr. President?